I know that there's a need for us to share young people's voices. But this is an international approach to the way we see the world. The BuzzKlub is a movement, and I urge you and I ask you and I invite you to become a part of this. I'm Bintu, aka Honeybee. You have officially been buzzed.
There was a strange circumstance around my birth. That those circumstances and her prayers went into what was in her womb. She didn't know that her insecurity because of a circumstance made her feel secure in the prayers she was sending up to God. But out of that womb could come the cure of every disease that humankind is suffering from.
Hi guys, as you can see behind me, Minister Farrakhan is speaking, but I am bringing you the front row seats to the 20th anniversary of the Million Man March. I'm very proud to be here. I came years ago in 1995 with my family, and I'm here today because I believe it's important for us to capture history and really focus on the issues that matter in the black community. You guys stay tuned.
Hey.
Keith, what's your last name? Keith Johnson, right?
Yeah, Keith Johnson.
I'm about to, every black man is a Johnson. That's what I got. Like,
cousins.
That's your cousin? I swear, I used to think that everybody that's a Brown was a cousin, everybody that's a Johnson was a cousin. So yes, Keith has his own comedy show called 2 Times the Cool, of which you can check out on YouTube at any given time. So you guys make sure you go out there and you check it out, all right? All right, so today I want to start talking about, well, before we really get into the topics, you guys know what's happening this Saturday?
What's happening this Saturday?
The Million Man March.
Oh, you mean this Saturday? Yeah,
this Saturday, the Million Man March. Okay. Absolutely. So, are you interested in that, or like, have you heard anything about like the Justice or Else movement?
I have not heard a lot about it.
Dang, that is so crazy. Do you think like,
as far as like media is concerned, I haven't seen
really
people posting
that's
about
interesting.
it.
Have you like seen anything or heard anything about it?
Well, I know today on Instagram I saw they're posting something called Blue Lives Matter. They commissioned a billboard, and they're putting it up to, I guess, to like push back against like Black Lives Matter, Blue Lives as in police officers. It was right on Instagram today, and I think that's so crazy that would go up so close to the Million Man March. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like our concentration is not right now on Blue Lives.
Wow. Yeah. And that is funny because someone else like made a comment about Dr. Umar, I think it was, and they're talking about, you know, people try to make it seem like, well, why does it have to be about Black Lives Matter? Why can't it be all people matter? And I think that it takes away from the significance of the things that have happened to us in the past and, you know, historically, like we're still set back thousands of years. You know, our children are still not able to compete with the rest of the world because we don't have the resources that we need. We're not even in the race. Like, we can't even prepare ourselves to run that race.
Yo, I know somebody who started a program, shout out to Robots and Mentors, and basically he grew up in a bad area, and he took his son when he had him and took him out to the county. They had a robotics program out there. His son got involved and it was really good. He got involved in it and was like really decent, and he like then started this program to go to inner city like schools and teach them robotics, because he's like, I didn't even have exposure to this as a child.
Yeah, so like how can I, yeah, exactly.
You know, so how can I even compete with someone who's going to MIT?
Exactly.
Because I didn't even know this existed. You know what I mean? And you've been doing this since you were like in the 3rd grade.
Yeah, and that's always
serious
the challenge. It really is a serious disadvantage, and that's why when people say to me sometimes like, well, is there even a use for or a reason that we still have HBCUs? And I'm like, there's a major reason besides the fact that I went to Howard University, but shout out to all HBCUs, because I think what it does is it makes you feel proud of where you come from, who you are, and it makes you able to better equip with what's going on outside in the world. Like, they let you know at HBCUs, listen, this is the way the world is, and this is why we're trying to educate you black folks, okay? You gotta work twice as hard, you gotta push harder every day, you gotta want something for yourself, or else you're not gonna make it out here. And so then when you leave at HBCU, you end up wanting to go out into the world and say, okay, I'm gonna affect my community at large, you know what I mean?
Our young people will not listen to those made in America, made by America, and want to bow down in America to that which has given them hell. These young people are looking for fearless leadership, but leadership that cannot be bought. Leadership that is willing to sacrifice its life to see a better future for our children.
And I have some strong black brothers here with us today. You guys, can you tell them what's your name and where you guys are from?
Kenyatta Harris from Connecticut.
James Hill, Dallas.
Harrington, New Haven, Connecticut.
Wow, so you guys came all the way down here. What made you guys want to come and make sure you're here? Were you at the first one?
Yes, I was.
In 1995?
I was there in 1995 and then again in 2005.
Oh, wow. Okay. So this is your first time?
This is my first time.
Okay.
This is my first time.
Why is it important for black men to be here today?
Well, to stand up, be accountable. There's so many issues going on today with black genocide around the world.
Yeah.
It's global. And here in the United States, we had a unique opportunity to affect change.
Yes.
Because we have at least a semblance of power and the ability to speak out. We can listen to Minister here on the national mall. So it's very important that we come out and stand out and show our support.
Yes.
And you know, like they say, united stand divided and fall.
Yeah, so we have solidarity. Is there anything that Minister Farrakhan has said today that has really stood out for you guys at all? Because I know for me, what stood out for me is just the concept of fear that we seem to have within our culture right now, in our community. We are afraid to speak up because we are fear of the backlash. Right.
And many times in professional, depending on your occupation, sometimes we're limited because of that position.
Absolutely.
All three in the fire service and black professional firefighters. And so that gives us not only the responsibility to stand out, to be standouts in our community, but to show that we're not out here, we're not thugs, we're not the negative competition that they're trying to apply to us.
Yeah.
We are strong men that are building our community.
Yeah. I'm ready now. I'm for real. I'm for reals tonight, girl. You ready? Yeah. Welcome back. Episode 4. I keep saying season, but we're not on the BuzzKlub. We're on Sex, Moon, and Stars. I am Bintu Kabba, Bintu the Guru. Some of you may know me from my millennial talk show, The BuzzKlub, which comes on every Tuesday night on Comcast, and also from my new book. Have you read my book?
Yes, I have.
What's my book called? The Go Girl.
Yes, the Go Girl's Guide to Astrology.
Yes, the Go Girl's Astrology Guide to dating. So you guys can make sure you guys check it out on Amazon. So we are back here with my girl, Chef Maya Pack from Lord of the Cupboard. Holla.
Yes.
Say hello to your fans.
I don't have fans.
Oh, girl, you got fans.
Hey to all my closet ratchets out there. Hey.
And I am here also with Nikki Andino. She is a title examiner and she also works for an insurance company. So say what's up to all the people out there listening. Yes, Nikki, are you?
I'm into work, but yeah, hey.
No, you're not. You know, she's actually an evil woman. If you guys, if you could see her shirt, it's so cute. Like, where'd you get that from?
I think like Urban Outfitters or something like years ago.
I think that's perfect because I think a lot of guys
I've had
may
this
call
shirt for
women
like
evil.
10 years.
Have you ever heard a guy say, "Why you look so evil? You so evil"?
Oh, I have resting bitch face all the time.
Yeah,
so it catches people off when I start smiling and laughing.
Yeah.
They're like, "Oh, you're actually nice."
Right, you smile.
Yeah.
You smile. Yeah, so that's cool. I'm loving that you brought your evil woman shirt and your swag on the show today, and so we're gonna turn up. And I told you before you came, like it goes down, you know.
Yeah.
It really does. Okay, so So before we get to today's topic, I want to talk a little bit about the Million Man March, because you guys know I went last Saturday.
Yes.
Do you know anything about it, Nikki? Did you hear about it?
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
I don't really watch news, which sucks. I usually just read whatever's on.
Right. Did you read any articles
Online.
afterwards, after it happened? Like, did you see any
Yeah,
news
I was like,
coverage?
oh, they had a Million Man March again, and I'm like,
Okay, yeah.
okay.
So interesting that you said that, because I believe that in the 90s, when
It was
the
a
first
big-
one happened, we heard more about it.
Yes.
Because the 90s were a different time, also a different platform for Black folks.
Like, I didn't hear anything about this
No,
one
and this is
at all.
2015, and really there was a lack of media coverage. There was no ABC, there was no Fox,
Right.
there's no one really out there like that from major news publications.
They
And
were out there.
They were out there, but
they
not
were
at the
out.
scale
You know
that
what they
should
were
have been.
doing?
Yeah.
They were out there and they were recording.
Yeah.
They just weren't.
Uh-huh.
Filming. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
they
they
just
just weren't showing it.
Yeah.
And what
So
that ends up being is where, you out there, you get the footage and you're basically just watching. You're trying to see, like, there's gonna be a million Black men, something's gonna pop off, and we wanna have cameras there. That's why they're not showing it. Because let me
Yeah.
tell you, if they would have started fighting,
Yeah.
they would have been like, exclusive footage from that
Absolutely.
Million Man
And you know
March.
what?
Riot breaks out.
And you know
Yeah.
what's so interesting that you said that? But the day before the Million Man March, I received an email because I actually did the event right. Like, I to say I'm going. I know we didn't need it. But it was like, yo, I'll be there with y'all in solidarity. And so it said, please, no drugs and no weapons allowed.
Wow.
And there were millions of Black people out there, and no violence erupted. What does that tell you? It tells you that we can be peaceful. We want
Right.
peace. We actually want just resources, and we want the same things you guys have,
Right.
We want a better education. We want more for our children. We want more for our communities.
And the great part about it was that it wasn't just like it wasn't just African Americans.
Oh, no.
There were Native Americans.
Oh, yes.
There were
Yeah.
Mexicans. They had like Mexicans and like Africans who tied together like
Wow.
African flags and like Mexican flags, and they were holding it together. Like it looked like almost like a
Yeah.
bow, but it was so beautiful to see like them all come together and say like we're all being oppressed against
Yeah.
against what's
Yeah.
going on. It's
And I
not just
agree.
it's not just
Yeah.
Black people. It's like people of color, all you know what I
Yeah.
mean, who are all struggling together in this.
Right.
And I like that you brought to my attention when you were like, okay, like the West Coast. What about our Hispanic brothers and sisters? What about the Asians? Like, we are all minorities. You know what I'm saying? And so at the end of the day, it's really important for us to come together and do what we need to do and spread the message. So we had a Million Man March on the East Coast. Okay, now we need a Million Man March on the West Coast.
Yeah, I was
Come
telling her.
together.
I was telling her that I think that it should be organized as an event that takes place in other places, because for real, it's like. We live in Philly, so DC, Maryland, New
Right.
York, New Jersey, we're able to come. But what about somebody in Texas? What about
Although
somebody,
people from Texas did
but
come.
but I'm saying there's some people who like
It's
could
just too
not.
far. It's just too much money.
It was just too far. It's too much to come for for a day event like that. So
Right.
the event really needs to be in other places to bring that that camaraderie to other places, to bring that peaceful vibe.
Now, I do have a
Right.
problem, though,
What?
about some things that happened with this march. With the people who did know about it. A lot of our own people, especially African Americans, were saying, what's the point in this? I'm not going to that, please. I'm not wasting my time. I mean, you had African Americans that were from D.C. that did not go to their own march. And you had people that came from all around the world to come to this march. Then you had people that said, well, that must be a Muslim thing because Farrakhan was leading it. No, Farrakhan even spoke about that at the Million Man March. He spoke about a lot of things. He spoke about our Black men, retiring the word bitch and respecting the woman, because the woman is the womb of life, gives so much. And, we need to respect each other, and about, reclaiming our freedom. He talked about, yes, I understand, this is not a Muslim thing, it's not an Islamic thing,
That's great.
this Jesus people out here, everyone's out here, this is a humanity. This is we need things in our communities. And like today, I was speaking to someone, and a young woman, and she said to me, yeah, I tried to watch it. I just turned it off because I just felt like it was setting Black people back so many years. Why? Because he was speaking the truth about things that are really occurring in front of the Capitol. My, the audacity of a strong, a leader who was around in Malcolm X's time, standing up in front of us. How many Black men get to do that? He told a story about his mother trying to abort him 3 times. But look, he's standing here before us. You don't know what someone's destiny is. This is a Black man that brought together thousands, millions of Black people to come to at least try to address the issue. No one else has been trying. Everyone else is trying to sweep it under the rug or act like they're part of the Black Lives Movement and try to be angry in the streets or just walking down the street. Okay, all of that matters and stuff, but we still need to have a post-action plan. And you know what? The Million Man March was a great start to something major. And you know, everybody around the nation now is saying, what else can we do? Right. What else? You know, so I'm glad I went out there, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm also glad I saw a lot of those fine behind millions of men that were marching. Yes, I did. I'm not gonna lie, let me tell you something. You wanted to find a good man that weekend, girl, you should have been at the Million Man March. I don't want to hear nothing about it, okay? It was millions to choose from. Not one, not two, but millions, okay? And they was decent ones. They was, and a lot of them were conscious. A lot of them were out there with their families, you know, those were off limits. But there were young men out there who were like, you know what, I'm trying to do something myself. And I believe a lot of people did meet at the Million Man March. And I hope that Black love was put together. I hope that we have a lot of couples that met through the march, because we need strong people to come together to take on the challenges of this nation and go to the next level and have children who are going to carry the torch. That's what we need. So let them find each other at these wonderful events. Thank you, Brother Farrakhan, for bringing the Million Man March to millions of single women out there. Okay?
That's what that's her point.
Yes. So with there's more where that came from. Sex, Moon, and Stars is so much fun, and we talk about the realest of the real. So make sure you're tuning in every week on SoundCloud and download on iTunes and Google Play. Remember, for mature audiences only.
About it. This is the vehicle, if you will. Do people know about this, what she's talking about? That the police murdered this man. It's in Connecticut, right?
No. Woman's in Delaware.
I saw the video, though. He's in the wheelchair and he's trying to adjust himself.
Yeah.
He's trying to adjust himself, and not one, not two, but 3 cops.
Yeah.
3 pigs.
And the first gun that shot him was one of him. He got shot in the neck. He got shot with the first shot was a shot in the neck from the shotgun.
How could he bring his hands up?
Exactly.
And he's in a wheelchair.
And my whole thing is you couldn't taser him or just go behind him and try to my whole thing is they couldn't taser him or anything.
Let me just say something. Look, all this is on video. This murder in Delaware of what is his name?
Jeremy McDowell.
Okay, it's on video. Tamir Rice, the murder of the 12-year-old, it's on video. The shooting of Brother Africa in downtown LA, it's on video. John Crawford, it's on video. Oscar Grant, it's on video. Okay, Eric Garner, it's on video. We can all see this. So these cameras are not going to do shit when you get down to it.
So I gotta ask you, right? Was there anything that Minister Farrakhan may have said today that kind of stood out for you that really made you think like, this is true? I agree.
One thing he said earlier was he talked about how our generation is fearless, and that's one thing that I really do agree with. I think our generation is a special one because we are fearless, we're not afraid to speak up and speak our mind. That's why we have the Black Lives Matter movement, and that's why we've been in Ferguson and Cleveland.
Yeah, and we have more to put our voices out there. We have the internet. We have social media.
We have a lot more than our parents' generation did. So we are a fearless generation. I definitely agree with that.
Absolutely, that's awesome. So, where do you think that we can go from here? Like, we're here 20 years later, Million Man March, things going on in our communities. Where can we go? Where can our Black men go from here?
I mean, I think one of the important things was like realizing that while this is sponsored by like the Muslim population and stuff like that, but realizing like you have the Native Americans here, you have the Hispanic, Latino organizations. Just realizing like why this was known for like bringing together Black men 20 years ago. Now we have other people to support us and to support those Black men. So taking that support and that unity and going from there.
Okay, thank you ladies so much. And I mean, I agree with you. I'm so glad we're here in solidarity, and I'm so glad the women are here to support our Black men, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Now, a lot of Black people that work in this house, listen carefully to what I'm about to say. A lot of Black people who have mastered their particular sport or their particular discipline, and they feel excellent. You know, they walk with a certain heaviness and certain pride. And when they come in the room, some of them just suck up the atmosphere. Oh, look, there's so-and-so. There's so-and-so. As though so-and-so is greater than you, so-and-so. They're only great in your eyes because you have not focused your eyes on the greatness of yourself.
Tell them where you're from. from?
My name is David. I was born in Chicago, but raised around DC.
Okay.
My name is Billy. I was born and raised in Massachusetts, but I stay out in Arlington around here.
Okay, cool. So, all right, guys. Obviously, it's the Million Man March, and obviously, there's a lot of minorities out here today. But we still have our Caucasian brothers out here working with us. So, what made you guys want to come out today and support the march?
It's just the whole movement. You know,
Yeah.
I don't like to think about the differences. You know, we're all working together. We all recognize what's going on.
Yeah.
And you can't just depend on one person to try to solve it. We all have to come together as a nation, and that's why we're here.
So do you think still the Black Lives Matter movement, do you think that that's still, that is something that's important also for us to focus on? Because I think some people feel that it's a separation, but do you think it's important?
I think it's definitely important, and I think it's kind of like what you said. It's about, bringing people together, whatever skin color they are. As long as you're uniting together to make a stand for the movement, then that's what matters, because you can only change one person at a time.
Yeah, and you know what? I just love seeing you guys out here today. It brings me so much energy and so much joy to see you guys out here in solidarity with us. So thank you so much for coming out to the Million Man March. And what do you think that we can do to move forward and have progress and come together?
I think more shows like yours, bringing more attention to the. Sometimes we see it on TV and it's not real, but being here especially, we get to see different people. This is real,
This is real.
And shows like yours help people see that.
Thank you. Oh my God, guys. These are like my new brothers, for real. Brother from another mother. Holla. It's the Million Man March, and we are here at 20th anniversary. Thank you. Before we left the Million Man March, how could we leave without talking to one of the Million March's finest black men out here? Alright? Yes, tell them what your name is and where you're from.
My name is Don Rico, Washington. I'm from California.
All the way from California? Did you come all the way from California down here, or are you like in the area of DC?
Man, I caught a bus, a train, and a plane to get down here to DC. I'm just fucking.
He's playing, okay.
I live here, so.
Yes, he lives here, okay. So Don Rico, why did you come out today to the Million Man March?
Well, I came today because
the first one was in 1995.
So in 95, I was 7 years old, so I didn't make that one. In 2005, I was a senior in high school, didn't make that one. And so now that I live here in 2015, I thought that it was only proper for me to come and experience, what the people had to say.
Okay, so what are some of the things that you saw today, or that you may have heard that you kind of liked about the movement, the Justice for Elk movement?
Well, to be honest, I felt like everything that was said was a reiteration of what's already being said in the media and just around period. So I think it's always good to get that reiteration so that, it's always fresh on your brain.
With that being said, though, do you think that there can be a change if it's already been said, some of these things?
Of course. Of course I think there could be a change. But I think one of the things that Minister Farrakhan said that kind of resonated with me was that it's up to the older people to pass the torch
down to the younger generation,
so we can keep it going.
Absolutely, because what I kind of find is that sometimes it's hard to get the old people to kind of participate or get like black men to come mentor more in different community centers.
Right.
So, it's really up to us to make that change. And, before we leave today, is there anything else that you want to say out there that you think that the young people should be doing now?
All sides. Advice to the young people. That's a good one. I gotta think about that.
You gotta think about that. I have something to say, young people.
Okay.
Young people today, don't be afraid to speak up. Don't be afraid to make changes in your community. And don't be afraid to walk away from something that isn't right for you and for the people around you that you love.
Shirts all sizes. I guess the only thing that I can say that has come to me is
yes.
Nah, I'm not gonna say.
He don't know. You gotta go. Thank you for coming to the Million Man March. We love you all. Great. Welcome everyone. I am so happy today to be a part of the 3rd annual Women in Media Conference. I've been a part of it every year to different capacities, and this year I have the pleasure of becoming one of their authors for the first ever Authors Corner. You guys are in for such a treat. There's some big players up in here. Lorraine Ballamore, she just spoke, and
sure to stop by and meet some of our local media outlets and representatives who are here. Philly Kim is here taking testimonials and interviews. So we want to get a lot more interviews this year of our attendees. So if you could, you know, stop by and say something. Women in media, this might be your claim to fame. But we have a new addition to our conference this year, which is our Authors Corner, where we have engaged 5 female authors who have all written their own books, and they're all here for purchase. And if they are here on the rooftop, you can just come to the mic, introduce yourself and the book really quickly. The Authors Corner will be on the first floor in the main event space. It'll be to the right, it'll be to the left of the stage. So please be sure to check out our authors. And I see one in my view.
Good morning, ladies. How are you guys today? Good morning. Thank you. I would like a more excited good morning welcome. Good morning, ladies. How are you today? Yes, we made it out here this morning, and I am so grateful because life is so precious. I lost a close friend of mine last Sunday, so I am so grateful to be out here with all these beautiful women, and I'm just grateful. My name is Bintu Kabba, and I actually have my first astrology book called The Go Girls Dating Guide to Astrology. Some of you guys may notice me from my talk show. It comes on Tuesday nights on Comcast, on Verizon, also through Philly Cam, and it's called the BuzzKlub. It's a millennial style talk show. So if you guys would like to come to learn more about what I do, about the book, or just to say hello, please come down to the Authors Corner, and I'm really excited to meet you. And I want to pass off this mic to another author who has a book called Beautiful Struggle. So come on up here.
First of all, it's so great to be here. I am thrilled and inspired by seeing all these beautiful women. Also to see so many of my own friends here as well. So thank you. So what I want to talk about is about improbability, about the impossible. They say that the bumblebee should not be able to fly. I think you probably have heard this. You know, the bumblebee's kind of like round, and those little wings, and yet it does fly. Well, I am that bumblebee, figuratively and literally. I am from a mixed background. My mother was Japanese, my dad African American. My dad graduated from Tuskegee Institute. His father was one of the first graduates of Meharry Medical College. And he met my mother in Japan. They got married. They had me. They came over here. And here I am. So when you think about it, I've had an amazing career. I've been at some iteration of Power 99 for 32 years. And I worked in radio before that. But to be standing here is really kind of crazy. You know, this little, petite, Blackanese girl, news director for 6 radio stations, go figure, crazy, I'm a bumblebee. Which tells you a little bit about some of the things that allowed me to get to where I am. I started out as a dance major. I was talking to, yeah, wow. I wanted to be in the Alvin Ailey Dance Company, and I majored in dance. By my sophomore year, I realized that I didn't have what it took. Okay, so I switched to another major. I became an education major. But one day, I walked into the student radio station, really almost by accident. Really almost by accident. So I walked in, and I thought they were hiring, but they were really just auditioning people for their, you know, volunteer situation. So I went in and said, okay, let me try it anyway. Tina Fey once said, say yes, and you figure it out later. Well, that's another underlying theme of my life. I say yes a lot, and I figure it out later. I might be terrified, I might be scared, I might think, what did I just say? But I said yes, and I figured it out later. So I went there, started doing radio, and loving it a